It's not good. Right now is very much a time of wanting people to be accountable, wanting punishment for people, and I agree. And that's why I'm making this video.
2020 has been the craziest year of most of our lives so far. I mean, nothing else even comes close to it for me. And it seems that with all the craziness that's gone on, our capacity for bullshit is like the lowest it's ever been. And that's some bad news for influencers, as most of their career seems to be based on BS, honestly. And that's why I think 2020 has probably seen the most cancellations that there's ever been. And I'm gonna be breaking down the worst of them right now on I.O. Hey, what's up everyone? It's Mackenzie here, and today on the channel I'm gonna be filling you in on the top 10 influencers that ruined their careers in 2020. And oh boy, there's a lot of them. But before we get into it, make sure to like and subscribe below. Also check out our playlist of other videos right up there. Alright, starting off at number 10, we have Shane Dawson. So this is an obvious one. Basically, Shane was exposed for tons of gross and terrible stuff he said or did in his past, with some of it relating to his involvement in the James Charles bi-sister scandal, and the rest things back from even farther, with some stuff so bad that it got the attention of the Smith family, with both Jada and Jaden tweeting out against Shane. After all these allegations and a few horrible apology notes / videos, Shane came out with one where he owned up for some of the mistakes he made in the past and blamed it on immaturity. But a lot of the viewers didn't accept this apology and felt he didn't address enough, as at that point there was so much coming out, it was honestly unbelievable. Since he uploaded his apology in June of 2020, he hasn't posted anything on his social medias, other than making a cameo in one of his fiancée Ryland's videos. And even in that video, it didn't seem like the internet was ready to have him back, so he might be staying away from the internet for months or even years. And at number 9, Myka Stauffer. Myka and her husband James went through one of the worst cancellations in 2020 after they announced in a video that they were rehoming their adopted son from China. And people were very angry about this, especially since she had documented the adoption process and made tons of other videos with the child. It felt like she had just kind of used him for views and was done with him now. Especially since before the adoption, Myka only had about 7,000 subscribers, but after she had over 700,000. But she clapped back at the rumors that she profited off of him, saying all the money from the videos plus more went into his care. After a police investigation was conducted, it was concluded that the child was fine and he was in good hands. After this, Myka made another apology on her Instagram, but after that received mixed reviews as well. She limited the comments and hasn't posted since. And at number 8, Jaystation. We have talked about Jaystation a lot over the last, little bit, but he is just so awful that it's hard not to include him in lists like this. He was already hated online for years, as he was known for trying to contact the spirits of recently deceased people at 3 AM, making videos on rappers like Mac Miller and XXXTentacion. But just when you thought he couldn't get any worse, he did. And on January 22nd, Jaystation uploaded a video titled "My Girlfriend Alexia Has Died, Rest in Paradise." In the video claiming she passed away because she was hit by a drunk driver. But after that, Alexia came out herself online saying that it was all a lie and she was fine, and they just broken up. And then Jaystation responded that the whole thing was just a ploy to get subscribers, but everyone online was disgusted by all this, and this and other events resulted in his monetization getting taken away. He also was arrested in Toronto and charged with assault and assault with a weapon. I'm not sure what came of that arrest, but after all of that, I think it's clear no one wants to support this guy again. And at number 7, Tati Westbrook. Now, some could say that Tati ruined her career in 2019 after she made her video against James, which is probably true, but since she was kind of coming back this year and then ruined it again, I think she can be on a 2020 list too. So as we covered a few months back, in the midst of all the backlash against Shane and Jeffree, Tati released a long-awaited video called "Breaking My Silence." And in the video, she filled in a lot of pieces that were missing about the bi-sister scandal, including the fact that Jeffree and Shane were definitely involved, and that her and James had made up and realized that Jeffree and Shane were monsters who just wanted to see James fail. However, even though initially people took her side, as time went on, people once again started to realize, some holes in her story. First, people weren't happy that she blamed it all on the pair and seemed to take really no accountability for being the person that actually made the video. And next, people didn't like how she wanted all this sympathy when her decision made James consider taking his own life. And then when Trisha made a video calling Tati out, where she honestly made a lot of sense, can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true, and really made a lot of valid points as to why we shouldn't trust Tati any more than the other people in the situation. The last time I saw it, Tati's video had more dislikes than likes, and because of that, she hasn't posted anything since. And at number 6, Jake Paul. Obviously, one of the Paul brothers, had to make it onto this list. And while Logan has been building himself back up after Japan and staying pretty unproblematic, Jake has been doing the exact opposite. It honestly seems like he's taking advantage of every opportunity to get people to hate him. He got a ton of backlash after he was caught at a Scottsdale mall during the BLM protests when looting was taking place, with people debating whether Jake and his friends were overloading themselves. Also, Jake has been getting steady backlash the last year over his content in general, as it seems like he's trying to age up by making his videos really sexual, but it's just making everyone really uncomfortable. Also, his house got raided by the FBI, and even though he said it was because of the looting, I personally don't believe the FBI cares enough about looting to make a planned raid on his house like that, but that's just me. Oh, and lastly, he's been partying and openly said he doesn't care about the pandemic. So yeah, 2020 has definitely not been a good year for people liking him. Halfway through number 5, Bon Appetit. Bon Appetit is a food publication that also has a YouTube channel, and they are well known online for their food videos. However, the Condé Nast publication got tons of backlash after it was revealed that the company had a toxic workplace, and there were allegations of racism at the company. Business Insider even published a report based on interviews with 14 current and former staffers at the publication who described it as toxic, saying people of color were treated like second-class citizens. Then, in the midst of all of this, the editor-in-chief Adam Report was exposed for doing brownface as an old Halloween costume. Many were outraged at the action, including one food contributor, Sola El Wali, who asked for Report's resignation as a result of his actions. She also exposed the company for underpaying her compared to her white counterparts, even adding she was only pushed in front of videos as a display of diversity, but was never paid for those appearances. As a result, the company has essentially come crumbling down, with none of the other hosts willing to work until things are taken care of. As a result, they haven't posted since June. And at number 4, LeafylsHere. Leafy has had a long and winding relationship with YouTube. In 2016, his channel was on fire and he was one of the fastest growing creators, but his content was horrible and practically all of it was harassing other creators. As a result, YouTube decided to kill his channel and shadow banned it to the point that it slowly lost popularity. After this, and a content cop that ruined his reputation, Leafy left the platform in 2017. But after iDubbbz was having a scandal of his own, Leafy came back on the platform in 2020. But almost as fast as he came, he was gone again, and his channel ended up getting terminated by YouTube in April. But this ban was entirely his fault, as he was warned by YouTube not to violate their terms on harassment and bullying, but he kept bullying streamer Pokimane. As a result, he got banned. And at number 3, Gabbie Hanna. Gabbie is a YouTuber I would probably say hit her breaking point in 2020, because I think at this point her fans are just so frustrated at the fact that she refuses to stay out of drama. Gabbie has had a wild 2020 so far. She had somewhat of a breakdown after she was getting in drama with Jessie Smiles and Trisha Paytas at the same time, as well as accusing YouTube of shadow banning her and promoting drama videos on her. She ended up saying her truth about all the situations in one long video, then left YouTube for a few months. But after that short break, she decided to come back, saying she wanted to stay out of drama this time. But then she announced she was writing a song on Trisha Paytas and poked the bear yet again. Because of all this Trisha song drama, she ended up making an apology, only about a month after she came back online. And with all the hate she's already getting, it wouldn't surprise me if she took another break again, because I think she needs a real break this time. And at number 2, Tana Mongeau. Tana Mongeau has been in so many career-ruining scandals over the years, but I honestly think that the scandal she got into in 2020 will be the cause of her downfall. Back when the George Floyd protests were exposing people for how they were treating black creators, Tana was exposed for how she treated Colin Berry and Simply Nessa, both black creators who she was friends with, until she turned everyone against them. After all the backlash, she stopped posting on her social medias. However, she still kept posting on her Instagram stories and showed the world how much she cared about all the backlash by going out and partying literally every night. And obviously this showing she doesn't care at all. After months of waiting, she finally released her apology a few weeks ago, but it was quickly dubbed the worst apology video of all time, and it was clear to anyone watching that she didn't mean the words that she was saying, and she was really just reading off a script to appease her fans so she could move on. And with the backlash her apology received, and the fact that she hasn't posted anything since, I think it's safe to say that she's lost a lot of fans. And finally, number 1, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star had a rough start to the year after a former Jeffree Star model, Cameron Lester, called Jeffree out for tokenizing him and only using him to make his brand look good. Then after his exposing, more people came forward, with one person even bringing up the fact that he's pretty sure Jeffree and Shane knew of Bi Sister before it happened. After that rumor started, there was no putting it out until someone acknowledged it, which Shane did, admitting that they did know of the video beforehand. But around this time, Blair White made a video exposing Jeffree, saying he was a monster that was sharing a voice recording of a James Charles victim, as well as using his power and money to intimidate others into keeping quiet. After all this had come out and Jeffree had been silent for months, Jeffree finally decided to make a video addressing everything. In the video, he shuts down everything, in short, saying he wants to be held responsible for his own actions, then adding he won't be exposing people and he just wants to move on. And his video had a more positive reaction than most, but he is still laying low online because of all the drama surrounding him and his bestie Shane. Alright everyone, that's all for the video today. Let me know your thing about all this below, and who do you think most deserves to be on this list? I think people like Jaystation, Jake Paul, and Jeffree definitely deserve to be on this list. And that is all for the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it all the way here, make sure to like and sub below, and I will see you in the next one.